Okay, I've slept since the last video and I've had a cup of coffee as well, so hopefully we'll get right back to this, pick up where we left off, and have no problems. Yeah, right. Alright, so I got the assembly. I recall our mates were a little jabberwocky, so let's go in here and fix one of these mates. And what you'll find here is that generally when things really go wrong for 16 different pieces that all share one piece of reference geometry in a mate, that if you simply go in and what I did is off camera is I moved this plane back up to this level. It was down at the bottom plane, so what I'll do here is just mate the coincident of the bottom of this pawn. It's already on plane 1, but I moved plane 1, so what I need to do is tell it to go plane 1 again. And I don't know how that works, but you can see all the pieces were corrected at the same time. Just something a little funny. Sometimes you gotta, when you do some changes like that, you gotta go in and redefine some things, and then not everything, of course, will pick up to that change. So some stragglers there. Alright, now what I'm really interested in is revising this board, and found some things. We got into some things yesterday, video 9, where the through holes weren't quite lining up. They were favoring one side over the other. And what I found out, I think, is that these troughs that I don't want anyways aren't exactly, so one of these troughs or one of these squares is 10 thousandths narrower than the rest of the rows. Well, I don't want the troughs anyways, so let's just go back to the board and get rid of those, and this will be interesting, of course. So if you recall, these squares are actually raised up a certain amount above this plane right here. And so if I just want to suppress that, well, the holes go away too, because the holes were on sketch planes that were on the surface of the Boss Extrude that I just suppressed. So what we're going to do is redefine the sketch plane for those holes. So I'm going to do something here. I'm going to delete that. Delete the following item and all the dependent items? No. So first, if I right click here, you see this. So this is awesome. Edit sketch plane. This is totally awesome. So first of all, we're all on the same page here. That's the plane that those pieces are on. I want them to be on this plane. Okay, let's do something to really ensure what's going on here. There we go. I rolled back. This is my original 4x4 square. On this, I'm going to create a plane. Coincident. Boom. Done. It exists right there. I'm going to roll down the rest of the way. Now I've got a plane up there. Awesome. And it's just, there we go. Now, for the cut extrude, I'm going to edit the sketch plane. It says your sketch plane is currently that face right there. Okay. Now, it's going to be that plane. I might get some errors. Stand by. Fillet 2 has a warning. That's great. I'm going to get rid of the fillets. Alright. So, I should now be able to get rid of that boss extrude. Why is that there? Just delete. See, cut extrude 1 is not a... Let's just go to yes. Nope, that's not good. Undo. I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. It's saying this cut extrude was done after this boss extrude. And there's some dependent, I must have some geometry set up to some relationship geometries on this cut extrude that are dependent on the boss extrude. So what we're going to do, hopefully, is just drag this up. I cannot. What's going on then? How do I get out of this mess? What if I don't merge the result? Let's see what that gives me. Okay. Okay, we'll go in and see what's wrong here. This sketch contains dimensions or relations to model geometry which no longer exists. So let's edit that. So here we go. In yellow is something that doesn't exist. Okay, so at some point I made a dimension from here to a filleted edge, and that's no longer exists. So let's see if that took care of it. No, that did not take care of it. So what else is going on here? These... midpoint. Okay. Well, we can do the old display delete relations. And we can delete all the relations. Exit the sketch. Roll back to feature. Okay. Man, I am not getting there. And you know what? We've reached the critical juncture of time where it says, hey, I've spent more time on this trying to fix the problem than it would if I just solved the problem. So we don't want either of those. We don't need this. I'm going to have to go in and redefine all those mates again. It's not going to be fun. But I've got this sketch, and it still has warnings, so no longer exists. Well, it shouldn't have. If I deleted all of its relations, why is it telling me that it still has errors? And it could be, that's all I can think of, is it was those things right there. Yep, it was that construction geometry right there and there. Alright, well, actually, let's go back then, now that we know what it is. Let's go back to when we did not have that cut extrude deleted. Delete that. Delete that. Exit the sketch, everything's fine. Okay, but they still don't exist. Okay, that's fine. They will if I go through all on both. And they don't. Okay. There, finally, no more. Okay. So, see this? There's no more dependent. Cut Extrude 1 is no longer dependent of Boss Extrude 2 because I deleted in this sketch two lines, two little construction lines that were coincident to a feature in Boss Extrude 2. Okay? Bingo. So, all that work, get rid of Boss Extrude 2, done. Cut Extrude, I don't need a direction 2. I'm good. There's my holes. Awesome. This is exactly what I was looking for, okay? Wunderbar. Alright, now, back to solving the real problems. The distance in between each one of these holes is a 1/4 inch. So I should be good. Now if I base my through holes, okay, but the distance between the hole and the edge is 120. Got it, okay. So, all that work. Let's make a sketch here. Actually, let's do a reference geometry, and let's do a 3D sketch. So 3D sketch. Now 3D sketch doesn't exist on any one plane, hence 3D. It can go anywhere, anytime. So let's pick up some, insert a line. Yeah, let's go from that center point to that center point. Now another line, the midpoint, and I'll press tab. There we go. Tab quickly changes the major axis that it snaps to. Boom. Okay. And another one. Okay. So you see hence it's a 3D sketch, right? I just drew on two different planes on one sketch. And to get out of that, I can't hit sketch. I have to do that and then click 3D sketch. Now what that gives me is some very nice geometry. On the side of this board, I will have a line directly in between these two slots, which is what I'm looking for. So I'll go normal to that face, and I will now just do a regular sketch on this plane. I can pick up even the midpoint of that line I drew. I'm going to dimension this hole, and then everyone's favorite linear sketch pattern. Every 1/2 inch. Okay, awesome. And then a feature of an extruded cut through all. Unable to create this feature. Okay, let's not do through all. Let's go up to surface. It's saying which surface? That surface. 0 thickness geometry. Okay, what are our selected contours? Okay, there. Probably just didn't have any contours selected. Up to surface, let's try that. Really? Ah, okay. What's going to happen here is it is going to skim. It's saying I can't do this because the surface of this extruded cut cylinder would pass tangent to the surface of this extruded cut cylinder, and there would be zero thickness geometry, which Solidworks is not going to sit there and try and compute that, and it has no way of displaying it. It's saying it's there, but it's absolutely not tangible, cannot compute. Okay, we've got a couple options here. We can make the diameter of these holes slightly larger. Not much, just maybe 0.02, and that's exactly what we're going to do. 0.252, and the rest of them updated because they all have a relationship of this pattern. So I can change this to 0.3. They're all going to get bigger. Okay, that's kind of nice. All right. And if I ever want to say, oh, you know what, I don't want this one to change anymore, I can delete that pattern relation. And if I left the rest of them would stay and that one would not change. Okay? Anyway, we don't need to do that. So now let's get back to an extruded cut. And let's try through all. Okay? And let's see what happens. Oh, good. It worked this time. And you see I take a little bit of a cutout of this wall. Okay? Pretty cool. Let's go back into the assembly. And now let's see what it would look like. We don't need to view the planes. If we were to insert a component, insert a king, and put that in there. Look at that. It would go right in, and you could put the rest of your pieces in there. Kind of cool. I can drag it down. Get in there. Well, that's the idea of a mobile chessboard. That's where you would stash your pieces. So, a lot of work to do. I lost my color for display purposes. Now it's just one face. So, I'll need to resolve that issue. Looks like I still have some mating issues here. This king is probably too low. Yeah, the king, the queen, those pieces are a little bit too low. But if I can mate them to the plane, which plane is at the right depth here? Is this plane over here? Yes. Okay. Awesome. And with the queen. Awesome. And the rook on the knight. Awesome. Oh, and the bishop. Awesome. There we go. Okay. Well, I'm really excited about this feature that we have here. And what's kind of cool, say I really want to look at it. Look at that. You see there's some overlapping going on. So, you know, for our purposes, it's not a big deal, but I could, yeah, there we go. There's that original king. There's a pawn. I can go in and move these pieces around so they don't overlap each other. That king down there. Okay, this is really cool. So, question is, I can fit what? 4 pawns, a king, another pawn, and I'll have 7 rows. Do I have enough space to fit all my pieces in? That would be a critical question to know. Another pawn. Let's just do that. 2, 4, 6, 7. I'm sure I have enough space, but let's find out. Okay, don't need the planes. Let's go back to, so right now I've got 7 pawns and a king. Okay, got it. I need to insert 1 more pawn and a rook, or 2 rooks, 2 bishops, 2 knights, and a queen. Okay, so that was just me control selecting all those. So that's kind of cool, right? And if I don't want to put the queen in right now, well, I can. Okay, there's a queen. I have that pinned, so that's good. I need 2 knights, 2 bishops, and 2 rooks. Okay, so here we go. Let's start putting the pieces in there. This might be nice to have it now wireframe. Down to there. Kind of cool. Can be a little overwhelming. Ooh, getting down to crunch time here. Getting close. Oh, it looks like I have a lot of room here. There's one. All the way down there. one more space here. And then, yeah, we'll be fine. Plus I have half of another row. It'll share that row. There will be some overlap. So let's take a look at this. This is a little easier to see, right? Okay. Yep. That's a bishop. Bishop and pawn are overlapping. That row's probably not good. Let's do something here to help everyone out. Let's go back to that way of seeing things, and let's hide the board. Okay. There we go. Okay, so what I'll need to do is, it looks like maybe move a pawn over here and maybe move this bishop to the middle, and that'll be fine. So other than that, we are looking good. That's kind of a cool screenshot right here, isn't it? That's pretty awesome. Alright, until next time we'll I think we're going to start making drawings of this. Move over to Solidworks drawings, and that'll be really, really cool. So stay tuned and see you next time. Thank you very much.